thank you, Dr. Hicks, for being here. And I know it's been a long morning for you, but appreciate it very much. And also wanting to serve at the level you'll be serving at. And I look forward to supporting you. I would like to ask you something that we've been working on, which is the Chief Management Officer. And it's been kind of shuffled around and not paid attention to. And it's just such a vital position, I believe, to try to get our financial house in order. So I wasn't sure how your feelings would be about that. And you know, it's when you look back, the cultural resistance from the Defense Business Board and the GAO and all of them have been unbelievable. And there's some critical information I think it could really help us. So I didn't know what your commitment would be to that for the National Defense Strategy, and if you believe we have the bandwidth to be necessary champion for the business reform.
Senator, I think business reform is a vital element of the job jar for the Deputy Secretary of Defense, and if confirmed, I would put serious time and energy into that portfolio. The recent end of the CMO role was followed by the current Deputy Secretary of Defense putting forth a memo that explained the disposition of those responsibilities. And if I'm confirmed, I would want to get my team in place and look at that memo and the plan that's put in place to make sure it's effective.
Sure. To follow up on that, you know, the whole culture of spend it or lose it.
The
spend it or lose it culture.
Yeah, I think
that's within government across the board, but especially in defense, which is the biggest purchasing agent.
Yeah, I think we have to
change that?
Yeah, I think we have to change the incentives around how you promote business reform, and exactly if the incentive structure is you only get your money if you spend it inefficiently and can hold on to it and hide the ball, we're never going to get the business reform we need. So we need to change the incentive structure.
We found out in the state, when I was governor at state level, basically if we rewarded the agencies that didn't spend it all rather than wasting it, gave them a little bit of bump the next year because of the savings they had, it made them be more prudent because they weren't penalized. Might be some things we could talk to you about. I think it'd be really great. It doesn't take a whole lot. The other thing is on holding the prime contractor that does business with us, the big boys, the Boeings and all them, hold them accountable for basically the security of their networks down into their subcontractors. That's where we're getting picked off. That's where basically the hacking, that's where all the information is being stolen from. That has to be secured, and it has not. I think we've identified it. They just haven't secured it. We're not holding there's no penalty for the big prime contractor to basically secure their subs. So they just rely on the subs, whatever, and you want to know how they get in the back door, that's where they come from. And the only thing we're asking for is hold those prime accountable financially, and also basically being able to continue to be in good standing to do business. I didn't know if that's brought to your attention or not.
Senator, I would look forward to working with you and your team on exactly these kind of ideas. We have to change the accountability. We have to improve the accountability, change the incentives.
The hard thing is you have people that basically keep asking the question, how can we spend more money than all the other challengers that we have around the world? And we don't get the efficiency from it. And I think it's basically, we're not afraid to spend the money. We just want to get results from it. And I think there's a lot of waste and redundancy that we could really work on. Now, my final question would be basically, how do you rate the threats we have as a country, our international threats? And if you'd rate whether it be China, Russia, Iran, this and that, what do you see to where we have to basically be on our game and step up our game, if not?
Senator,
greatest threats.
Yes, Senator. The United States has regretfully not been able to have just one threat that focuses its attention, and this period is no different. From a Defense Department perspective, China is the clear pacing challenge in almost all capability areas. There are a few areas where the Russians still are pacing the United States, particularly in the strategic realm. And I think that's the key element of how we need to think about changing and shifting the force.
How about with cyber? Who's the big hitters in cyber? The same? You rate them?
Yes, Senator, I would rank them the same. I will say I look forward, if confirmed, to getting more briefings than I have had recently on exactly what improvements the Chinese and Russians are putting in place. But my view is that the Chinese are probably still the pacing challenge there.
The only thing I would be cautioned on is that basically a lot of the smaller, whether it be the Irans or whether it be different small players, they become big players in the realm of cyber, what they can do to us or what they try to do. It's
Agree.
very important. But look forward to working with you, especially the business reforms that need to be made.
Well, thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Dr. Hicks. Look forward to supporting you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.